So we were just talking about threshold assessment, which I'm going to be very clear and honest here. I kind of have an idea of what that is. I'm assuming we're evaluating where we're going in, but why don't you give us an explanation of what threshold assessment is?
Well, I mean, it's building assessment, assessing what visually, assessing what the building looks like, what could potentially be behind the wall.
Okay.
If we're looking at this room right here, we can see that the door is in the center of a section of wall, and I've got a beam going on here. I've got another beam going on here. I could probably say this might be what we call a center fed room,
Okay.
without even entering the room.
So when you say center fed, like going in and there's going to be that much space on that side, this much space on this side, I'm kind of assessing the size of the room before even going in.
And I mean, from a home security standpoint or home defense standpoint, you should already kind of know the layout of your house.
Right.
Right. But keep in mind, like, one thing to keep in mind is what side is the doorknob on?
Okay.
Right? Does the door swing in or out?
Okay.
Right? The construction of the door frame, and you think about, okay, what are the walls made out of?
Okay. And why is that important, what the walls are made out of?
Because one, new bullets go through walls.
Yes, depending on the kind of wall.
Depending on the kind of wall, depending on the type of round that
Yeah.
you're projecting out of your firearm, right?
Yeah.
You got guys who are carrying, using ball ammo, and that stuff goes right through drywall, right through both layers of drywall. I mean, in between this section of wall and the section that's behind this door, right, you've got what? You've got your door frame, you've got your frame, you've got the first piece of drywall, and then you've got the paint that's on top of your drywall. Behind that, you might have some insulation, or electrical components. You might have your gas pipes, you might have some water lines, you might have whatever.
Very little in terms of cover, in terms of stopping that round. Okay.
And then you've got your second layer of drywall, and then you've got anything like this stuff right here. Okay? I mean, some of this will dissipate some of the energy going through the round, but at the end of the day, this is why it's important to understand, okay, engagement distances inside of my own house. Where's my daughter's room at?
Okay.
Where's the playroom at?
Yeah.
Right? Where's your master bedroom at?
Absolutely.
At the end of the house?
Yeah.
Typically that's where it is, and people keep all their firearms at the back of the house, but everything down range from the back of the house might not be a good idea. So understanding the angles of what is in front of your target, what's beyond it. I mean, I would say imagine what goes through the walls. Okay? And when we talk about threshold assessment, we're assessing this right here. We need to make entry into here, and this is what we call the fatal funnel.
Okay.
Why do you think it's called the fatal funnel?
Well, I'm going to assume that when you open it, number one, in a situation, if that room is dark, this room is lit, even if there's a small amount of light, I'm going to be lit up like a Christmas tree in terms of what they can see versus what I can see.
Sure.
And then also the amount of space. I'm just looking at this, and if this room takes up this much space on this wall, that gives them a lot of room to hide either in that corner or this corner or that far corner over there or even that corner there. So I've got 4 points that I could be exposed, and I'm right in the middle of this, the silhouette.
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're taking all of this space that, remember how we said stay as far away as you can?
Yeah.
Now you're taking all of this space, that free space that's been secured already, and you're funneling it into a single point.
Okay.
And all I have to do as a bad guy is point right at that funnel.
And just wait.
And whatever comes in is getting shot, and that's why it's called the fatal funnel.
Fair enough.
Okay? They used to teach, you should open that door and then just plow your way through. This is what we call flooding the room, right?
Okay.
Just flood everybody in the room. But a lot of the times, now those guys are getting lit up, and they're solving the problem as they are making way into the room.
Okay.
There's time and place and reason for that. Doctrinally, we can study that later.
Okay.
But for today's class, we're not going to go too far into depth into the weeds. But the idea is, I'm making an assessment, and this is going to help me decide what is the best method of entry. Okay?
So my thought process would be that if the door is going to swing this direction, I need to make sure that this area is clear first. Would that be a positive?
Yeah.
thought process.
So clear this area first. So show me how you would enter the door. You want to reach across the door. Let's say this doorknob was actually working. So let's say this doorknob was actually working, and you had to turn it.
So if I had to turn it, I would come this direction.
There we go. Keep in mind, keep that muzzle up. And you don't want to point it at your arm. So you see how it's directly pointed right at your arm, right? There you go. So another thing to keep in mind is doors. What construction material they're made out of, you can see.
A very light wood.
Yeah, light wood, but you've got heavy doors that are made out of full solid, wood. And that's gonna help you understand, okay, I need some practice opening these doors.
Is my goal to get that door to come all the way to that position? I'm concerned that if I were to swing that up and somebody's standing right here, I've got a gap there that they can see where I'm standing right here.
Well, that's why you look through the gap,
Good point.
right? Let's say that door comes open all the way. Okay, now we get to a point where tactically you wanna say, I wanna let the room breathe.
Okay.
Right? Can you imagine being in that room and the door just comes open and then there's just silence?
All right.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of maybe in this position, I'm going to go ahead and take that step back that we talked about and get a little bit more space between it.
There we go.
Okay. So,
And then what you're also looking for is any conversations going on in that room.
okay.
You're trying to listen to see what's going on. You're trying to see trying to identify how many people are in there, right? And let's just say this door opens, and it's just quiet. Like, who's at the door? They come and check. You're already in a ready position, right?
Right.
To engage. And engage doesn't mean shoot them.
Right.
Engage could also mean talk.
Yeah.
Could also mean de-escalate a situation. Verbal judo is a big deal
Okay.
when it comes to stuff like this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So let the room breathe, and then once you've kind of got an idea, then you can start your pie. So you want to hug up against this wall, look as far in as you can, right there. And you're also looking for shadows. You're looking for any movement, and you walk in. Can you hear somebody who's hugged up against that wall? And that's going to help you make that best guess as you're coming around that corner. It's kind of a hard trick. Now keep that muzzle compressed. Okay. So don't expose your foot now.
So I feel good about everything except for this final corner here.
Okay. Right, so usually what's going to happen is you're going to have dead space. You're going to have space that you can't see, right? Whether you're hooked up on the outside, coming around, you're going to have 2 points where you're going to be unable to see. And this is when we make entry to make sure it's clear visually, right? One way to do that is, one, you just make entry and then you dominate the room as you come into the room. This is why footwork matters coming into the threshold.
Okay.
Okay. One way I like to do it is the less amount of steps I can take to get into the room, the better, because less steps means that it's more efficiency.
Okay.
Right? You want to be efficient with your movements, especially if you're game planning, if you're planning how you're going to move throughout the house and stuff like that. Try to be as efficient as possible. Don't waste time, and don't put more effort into something than you need to.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the more effort and energy you exert, the more fatigue you're going to get. The more fatigue you're going to get, the less of a easier time it's going to be as you're just wearing yourself down.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what I like to do is, if I'm at the compressed ready here, I'll put my foot right up to the edge of this doorway, okay? And then I'll compress 1, 2, out in the room.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So here, and I'm just checking the corner that's directly in front of me. If I visually see, oh, that's clear, I'm going to step and I'm going to rotate till I can dominate the rest of the room here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, come on out this side now. Do it from the inside out.
Can we do that one more time? My camera was just have you going in and
Yep. And I'm still here, this position.
Yeah, and as you step, you don't have to turn into this. You're directly going straight here, and as you see this is clear, boom.
Okay. So foot is here.
Yep.
I'm in this position. I'm coming here, here, here.
Yep.
Okay? And then do the same thing coming out.
Yep.
So, so putting my right foot here. Do it again.
Yeah. Get these reps in. Okay, so as you're coming out, I'm going to set up a target.
Okay?
You're going to engage that target. All right.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, don't stand in the tail funnel. Make sure you go in, clear that space. There you go. Okay, so one thing you did is you took a step this way, exposing your back to the rest of the room, right? If I'm coming in, I'm just gonna, here, target, boom, 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 he's down, and then I'll turn.
Like I don't even think about
Body-
everything else being in play, you know?
Yep, that's all, where you place your body. There we go.
One more.